YouTube, what's up, what's happening? How you guys doing? Got a good little video for you guys today. So recently we had a visit from Spray Gunner. They're doing a tour across the country and I'll put a link over to their channel down in the description and also in the comments, so you can go and check that out. If you don't know who Spray Gunner is, they're actually airbrush and like paint gun like retail place. So they sell all the airbrushes and airbrush equipment and all that. They're based out of Florida, but they're doing a state tour, a 48 state tour. They're going all around the United States, visiting artists, visiting stuff. I didn't really know they were doing this until, they decided to show up here. Gave me 1 day heads up, came by and just wanted to show us a couple products and stuff. And one of the things they did was introduce me to this GSI Creos PS289. It's a 0.3mm needle airbrush. It's for fine details, and Spray Gunner said that it's kind of comparative to an HPC. So yeah, they came by, they showed it to me, then they were not allowed to take it back out of out of my area. So I instantly fell in love with it. And I can't really bring you a full review because I didn't buy it and it didn't come in its original packaging, and so I can't do an unboxing and all that. But all I'm going to do is give you my thoughts and impressions and really introduce you to this this brand, because it's a brand that I had already planned to review for the year, but really getting one up close really makes me hopeful and like excited for the rest of the brand line. But anyway, all that being said, let's roll the intro, then we'll take a look at this airbrush and put it through its paces. Alright guys, so here we have our airbrush, and again it's a 0.3mm needle. It's very fine. It comes with a tapered fan cap, so designed to kind of eliminate some of the back pressure from a normal fan cap. These work really good for when you're trying to protect your needle. You're trying to get close. You can really get some nice fine details. But you guys already know I like to work with that piece completely off. It does have a diaphragm style air regulator built in. And what I like about this one is that it's actually really tight, right? Like, so it's not like hard to turn, but it's snug, and you could really feel the air pressure kind of get, what's it called? The fine tuning of the air pressure, it really makes a difference. Whereas the Talon and the Vision, right, the Pache airbrushes have kind of the same feature. This one seems to be a little bit more finely regulated to where you don't get so much, such a big spray at the beginning and then have the pressure regulate down. It's kind of a more consistent air pressure all throughout on this particular model here. So you got a nice fine pressure tune, and you also have a needle stop in the back, right? So if you want to stop that needle from moving, if you have a certain line or width that you're trying to do, it comes with one already built in. The quality of the finish, so I would put it on par with an Iwata. Like it's practically indistinguishable, the chrome finish from this one to that one. Also kind of like the Sparmex finish. It has a really nice finish. Also, one thing to note is this airbrush is kind of thick. It's a thick boy, so it almost looks like an Iwata thickness, but it's just like maybe 1 or 2 millimeters rounder, right? So the circumference or the diameter of the tubing here, this main tube here, is just a little bit thicker. And yeah, so like on my airbrush stand over here, it's a little bit hard to get it in. No big deal. Got a nice push down, and this trigger here kind of has a rounded edge with a nice indented center point there, which is really nice for resting your main finger like right up in there. and just getting those nice little fine movements, which is all you're really going to do with a nice little fine airbrush like this. Is just some nice fine movements. So yeah, all that being said, right, so right off the bat, it feels really good quality, and I was like really impressed right away, right? So this is about a $120 airbrush, and again, like I said, they're trying to compare this to an HPC. I don't have an HPC on hand to compare it directly, but I've been using the Iwata Eclipse with a 0.35 millimeter needle here for like a long time now, since back when we did the review, and I've been using it every day. And that airbrush works great. It atomizes paint really great. But here's why I instantly fell in love with this. So let's put some paint in here real quick. And there's already a little bit of reducer in there, so I'm just going to take a little bit of paint. And we're using Createx illustration for this. Some illustration opaque black with the reducer in there. Just going to take a little squirt of paint in there. Then we're going to shake it up like we always do. And yeah, so yeah, Spray Gunner was here. They, said, here, try this out. I think you'll really like it. It's kind of more towards beginners, but it's a really nice fine airbrush. The price point is kind of, really good. So this airbrush retails for about $126. Again, I'll put a link down in the description if you're interested. And you could use that link. It helps provide us, provide more videos for the channel as well if you use that link. So make sure you get a nice little spray out there. Good. So here's the deal. The reason I fell in love with this airbrush right away is how well it atomizes paint. So you guys have heard me talk a lot about atomizing paint and paint atomization. And if you're not sure what that means, here's what we're going to talk about. So when your airbrush sprays paint out of the main cap here, right where the nozzle and the air meet, right at the main cap here is where your paint gets expelled and mixed in with the air. Now on a not so great airbrush, the paint's not going to atomize so well. So you'll still be able to see like droplets, right? Like especially around the edges, you'll see droplets. And one thing you can notice with this airbrush, that even with just a quick little mixture, I didn't like mix the paint in any specific way, there is no droplets anywhere. So it's atomizing paint so fine that even the edges are getting atomized and reduced down. Now all that means is you're able to get some really nice blends and some really nice lines. So again, I didn't mix the paint up any specific way or anything like that. Just kind of threw some paint in there with the reducer, and right off the bat you get some super fine lines. And I mean, let me actually mess with the paint just to show you how fine we could go. So these are already pretty fine, but I'm just going to throw a little bit of reducer in here. The dogs are mad about something. Right? Again, not really being too specific with the paint or anything like that, just kind of more reducer, get a little bit more fine. We're going to shake it up real good. Make sure we get a nice flow out here. Good. Make sure the nozzle's cleaned off right there. Right. And here we go. So you can see that you can get these really fine lines. Because even at a fine, just barely opening up that gap of that nozzle there against the needle, pulls out just enough paint to just make you a nice little line. But it does it in such a way that it's just so precise, so fine. There we go, we got a nice flow now. then you can really get some nice details and some nice shadows. And even when you extend it out like that to the end, you can see there's not a single dot visible. It's all like just nice and blended out. If you want to get nothing but fine, nice lines, it's completely possible. It also gives you a nice thick spray pattern, right? So even for a 0.3, you're able to get some nice lines. And you're able to get some nice shadows all around. So instantly, I fell in love because it atomizes paint so well. So you're able to get in there, really get in these nice little, if you wanted to do some really nice little details, right? Maybe you just want to do some nice little tiny skulls. You're a member of the Skull Squad. And it does it no problem. And so then they tell me that this airbrush is $120, and right away it's like, wow. $120. How can you go wrong with that? And this is the truth, is that you really can't. So this is it. It's just a really nice fine airbrush. I mean, you expected it's a 0.3mm needle, but again, I've seen 0.3mm airbrushes. I'm not gonna name any names. Pache. But they don't atomize paint so well. You get a lot of like little speckles. That's kind of the best way to put it, is when you're trying to, you know, do some nice little blends like this, and you know, you're just trying to get that nice little edge, and you want that nice shadow coming around. You know, you just want to blend it off. You look at how it almost looks like I shaded it with a pencil. Like, it doesn't even look, you know, really airbrushed. So if you wanted to create those edges, again, it's so responsive. It feels really good in my hand. It honestly, yeah, like I was only joking, you know, and I told him, hey, you gotta leave that there. But I'm glad he did actually leave it, you know. I think he understood I was joking, but he was like, oh, you like it? I'll leave it. So yeah, you can get some really nice, you know, shadowy stuff. It atomizes paint at a level that I am just, is very nice. So again, if you're interested in this airbrush, if you like how it performs, and it performs really well, you'll be seeing me use this airbrush a lot actually going forward on the channel. And if you like the quality, because it's like, it feels good. It's like a nice weight. It doesn't feel like it's made out of cheap metals or anything like that. The needle, it actually feels like spring steel on the needle. And yeah, even this back piece, you can see that they made sure that the inside is nice and shiny on this back piece, not just the outside, you know, which I've seen a lot of companies just try to cut corners in any way. But everything on this airbrush is like really nice. Has a nice big cup, has this air pressure tuner here, which actually works, right? So if you wanted to turn down the pressure here, see that? And when you set it, it kind of stays. And so if you want to work on some nice fine details here, you can do so without worrying about getting a little splatter, nothing like that. Like, you just, we're gonna make a little something, you know. And so you need a little bit more air for the next area. And we'll just rebuild it up. And so you're just gonna blend that out somehow. Bam. Yeah, I like literally just touched my hand and I was like, wow, that feels good. you know, and he's like, yeah, this is a nice airbrush from Japan. And yeah, one thing I know, the Japanese make really good airbrushes, man. So yeah, I can't really go say anything bad about this. I'm not sure about the parts and stuff. I haven't really looked that up too much, but it all feels so quality made. And on a 0.3mm airbrush like this, you're not really going to be doing no heavy, you know, maintenance or anything like that. You kind of just pour some nice fine paint and nice and reduced. You work with low pressure, you rinse it out when you're done, get it nice and clean, and it's probably going to just last you a lifetime. And for $126, like, the commitment is like, that's only a little bit more than a Revolution, and it's actually cheaper than an Eclipse. So this airbrush, if you're looking for detailed work, I would highly recommend this Creos PS289. So it's a GSI Creos. On the sale page it says like Pro-Con something, M-Boy something or other. Again, the link will be down below if you're interested. You know, but don't be afraid. After trying it myself, I would highly recommend this airbrush, and I can't wait to actually try more of the GSI airbrushes, just to see how they are and how well they perform compared to this one. So far I'm impressed and I love it. I'm going to be using it a lot. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys liked that quick impressions video. I know I didn't do like the best demonstration, but hopefully it explained to you why I liked it so well and how it atomizes paint. Like really on a, even on the Eclipse level, like the Eclipse doesn't atomize paint quite this well. It atomizes paint pretty good, but like if I was just spraying straight black here, there might just be a little bit more, you know, it's hard to explain the size of the speckles, right? So really fine speckles means that it's really atomizing that paint to a point where it's like almost indistinguishable to the naked eye. And when it stops atomizing paint so well, or when you get an airbrush that doesn't do it so well, you're able to see the speckling off onto the sides. Even on here, you know, once you're trying to like kind of be fine with it, it's going to kind of make some more dottage, and that's probably the best way I can describe it. And sometimes it's not really noticeable, you know, but when you're working with something so fine, detailed like this, any little dot or, you know, anything off is really going to be noticeable. So having an airbrush like this, that just, the atomization level is really high. So I really like it. I can't atomize it enough myself. So anyway, guys, again, the link will be down in the description. Using the link helps us bring you more videos like this. You know, it helps provide a kickback to the channel. I hope you guys like this video. I know I'm kind of just drooling over this airbrush, but I really do like it, and I had to show you guys it, even though if it's not a full review. Again, this was not a new airbrush by no means. When I got my hands on it, he had already been, you know, he's been going across the country. He's been showing it to lots of people. Lots of people tried it before I got it. But once it reached my hands, this is its final resting place, and this is where it's going to actually, you know, be worked on and used. So yeah. One thing I just noticed too is that this lever, you see this lever has some holes there. I don't know if that's just for weight reduction or if that's for like adjustment. Something that I'll have to look into further, but that's actually pretty cool. Anyway, I've said enough. It's an amazing airbrush. I'd recommend it. If you've been looking for another airbrush, or maybe just a beginner airbrush, again, the price point on this is it's hard to beat. It's honestly really hard to beat for the quality that you're getting here. And you know, with all the features, because it has a built-in regulator, it has a needle stop, it has a fan cap, you know, an actual, you know, tapered fan cap. And yeah, like it's just really quality made. Everything feels good on it. It's not like the master airbrushes where stuff was like wiggly jiggly or anything like that. Everything on this airbrush is solid. So anyway, guys, hope you guys like that. We'll see you guys in the next one. Later.